Well, good evening. Welcome to Fans Banter. Welcome to our live at 9 chat. Tonight we'll be talking about a couple of things. You can see the upcoming topics bar there. We're going to be talking about the transfer talk. Jeremy Jacquet to Liverpool, but not now. We have to wait till the summer. We talk about Arne Slot. Is he eventually starting to get it right? Are things starting to work out for Arne Slot? We'll have a talk about that. And I didn't get to do a game review uh, of Newcastle and Liverpool Newcastle. So we'll go over that, and we'll actually do the player ratings tonight, and the man of the match that I thought was man of the match for that game. So welcome to Fans Banter. This is our little late night chat. Nothing too hectic. We'll be just taking things easy, just going over a few little things. We're going to be live every night now at 9 o'clock. I mentioned previously in one of the other videos that I did that we're going to stop doing recorded. We're just going to do live content now because of time. So there we go. So that's what we're going to be doing from now on. Just live content on Fans Banter every night at 9 o'clock, along with our watch alongs, of course. And whenever there's a watch along that we're doing a watch along, obviously won't be live that night. So let's get right to it. So Jeremy Jacquet, who is he? I have no idea. I've never heard of this guy. So let's have a look at some of the things he's up to. So the first thing we know is French in the French league. He's a French footballer. He's not yet an international. He hasn't played any internationals yet. He hasn't played a Champions League game yet. He hasn't played a Europa League game yet. But Liverpool have decided to pay 60 million quid for him. He's 20. There's some of his stats from the games that he has played. He's a centre half, by the way. Yep. So he's not coming to Liverpool till the summertime. So he's here for next season. So look, there's a couple of things this throws up. It probably throws up more questions than answers, to be quite honest with you. That's Jeremy Jacquet. I don't know him. That's some of his stats just off Sky Sports. So one of the things that we do know is that Chelsea wanted him. Chelsea wanted to sign Jeremy Jacquet. He chose not to go to Chelsea. He chose to go to Liverpool. Apparently, he's well thought of, but 60 million for an unproven 20-year-old. He's probably one for the future. I think that's probably what Liverpool are hoping for. Signing for the future. Just having a cup of tea now because ending off a rather busy day for me. So yeah. Well, I don't know what we think of Jeremy Jacquet, so I can't really talk much about him. I'm going to have to wait and see how he gets on. I'm sure there's people everywhere pretending that they know of him and giving you all these stats left, right, and centre and how great he is. But I don't know. I never heard of him, to be quite honest. I'm just being honest with you. But what I mean by it opens up probably more questions than answers, really. So he's coming in the summer. So who's going? Who's going in the summer? Do Liverpool know that Konate is not going to sign his deal and he's going to head off somewhere else in the summer? Do we know that Van Dijk may not be around for too long? Age-wise, we know he's not, but is it possible that they'll move off Van Dijk in the summer? That's a question I haven't heard anybody ask yet. It's a possibility, I suppose. So that was probably leave us with Konate signing the new contract. Jeremy Jacquet, I presume he's probably promised that he'll play at some stage. He's not going to come to the likes of Liverpool and for 60 million and sit on the bench, I wouldn't imagine. And then, of course, we'll have Giovanni Leone. He'd probably be back next season as well. So that's going to leave us with 3 centre-backs. Possibly one will be going. It leaves us with the Joe Gomez situation as well. Where is he going to play? So I think this asks more questions than it answers. And there's a couple of things that I just actually want to talk about. So we heard over the weekend that Liverpool were interested in signing on uh, Gertrude from Sunderland, who was on loan from Leipzig, and that was probably going to go through. It was going to end up with Liverpool giving Sunderland some sort of compensation and then buying him from Leipzig, or maybe taking him on loan there as a short-term replacement, because we're really short at right backs. But that fell through. So I'm finding it difficult to be quite honest, to understand Liverpool's mindset regarding transfers, and I'll tell you why. So you have to go back, I suppose, a while to talk about Mark Guay. So Liverpool wanted him. They couldn't get it done during the transfer. Then they were talking about, well, we'll might get him next summer in for a free. And then there was a little bit of talk about maybe getting them in January for a bit of money. But obviously we know what happened there. Manchester City swooped down like the vultures that they are, and they persuaded Mark Way to go to Man City. So Liverpool have gone from wanting a proven centre-back, an English international with years of experience, to looking to sign a right back who's on loan at Sunderland from his parent club Leipzig, to then in the space of 24 hours signing a centre half for £60 million who won't come to Liverpool till next summer. I don't know if Liverpool have like a list just of players, and if they don't get a player, they're moving on to the next player. It doesn't really matter his position. You know, centre half. Oh, we can't get him, so we go for right back. Oh, we can't get him, so now we're back to a centre half. If they have a list of players who they're just going through to see who they can actually get. I don't know if it's good management, it's poor management. They were talking about the money from Mark Guay in January not being a good business deal. Basically, is what it broke down to. I don't understand how Liverpool are doing up their numbers, but to go from what did City get him for? Was it like 15 million, 20 million to Liverpool, thinking that's not a good business deal? He's only 25, is he? To go and buy an unproven centre half from French football for 60. I'm not a mathematician or anything like that, but I don't understand the business logic of that. If you want to break it down into a business type of scenario, I just don't understand the business end of that, and just doesn't make sense to me. We have a crisis at Liverpool in the right full position. I know Joe Gomez will probably be back in a couple of weeks. Frimpong will probably be back in maybe 4 to 5 weeks. Then we'll have Conor Bradley, who'll be back for next season. But Joe Gomez is injury prone. Frimpong is injury prone. And Conor Bradley just can't stay fit. He's also injury prone. So we have 3 people that could possibly play right full who all have problems with injuries. And I doubt if we're going to get a season out of any of them. I just can't see that happen. I can't see Frimpong playing an entire season not getting injured. Can't see Conor Bradley playing an entire season. And I can't see Joe Gomez playing an entire season as a right back. And I think that's over the years Liverpool have been kind of blessed really with Andy Robertson, who never seems to really get injured with all the running that he does and all the games that he's played. He hasn't ever really been out long term. He might miss a match here and there with Costas then coming in, and then 2 games later Andy Robertson be back in. So I don't know if this is good. I don't know if it's good for Liverpool. I don't know if it's a good move going forwards that you spend so much money on an unproven centre back when really the problem in the short term is the right full position. Now I know Arne Slot will probably say he has players that he can play there, but they're not really ideal. And he did admit that himself in the press conference, that the situation of having to play Szoboszlai as right full is not really an ideal thing for Liverpool to be doing. Right, so he's done his medical. I presume it's done and dusted now, and he'll be a Liverpool player next year. But where that ends up, I actually don't know. I want to have a look at some of the age profile that we're possibly going to be facing into next year, right? So we know Alisson Becker is 33. So one would presume, and I would imagine, that Alisson Becker will probably go in the summer. That's just my feeling about Alisson Becker. I don't think Alisson wants to stay another season. But we have Georgi Mamardashvili. He's 25, so he'll probably be Liverpool's first team keeper. There's another keeper will come in. Virgil van Dijk is 34. He's coming to the end of his career. We'd be lucky if we get another really good season out of Van Dijk. I don't think so. I just don't know. I can't see him playing at a high enough level at 35, certainly not 36. So he's coming to his end, and in the next 2 seasons he'll be gone. So we're left with Kanata, who's 26. He doesn't know whether he wants to be at Liverpool or not. He doesn't seem to want to get pen to paper and sign the contract. So that's going to leave us with this new guy, Xhaka, who's 20. And it's going to leave us with Leone, he's 19, is he? He's 19. So very young in modern day football terms for a centre-back. So you have Van Dijk, who'll be probably tipping on 35. You'll have a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old, both promising but not yet proven at the highest level of football, in my opinion. So we'll have to see where that goes if Kanate moves on. Are they going to be looking for another centre-back? Because putting a young centre-back in, possibly 2 young centre-back in the Premiership, is going to be a tough call for them. But then you go on to Conor Bradley, he's 22. Frimpong is 25. Leone is 19, as I said. So we could possibly end up with a very, very young back line. Let's just say Van Dijk moves on. Let's just, for devil's advocate, say Van Dijk moves on at the end of the season. He gets a little bit of move. Liverpool get a bit of money. He gets a good 2-year contract, 3-year contract somewhere. And let's just say Kanate stays. So we're going to have a 26-year-old, a 19-year-old and a 20-year-old as our centre-backs. That's probably what we're looking at for next season. Then we'll have a Conor Bradley, who's 22, finds it difficult to stay fit, keeps picking up injuries. We have Frimpong, who's 25, also seems to be injury prone now, but we already knew that before he started picking up those injuries for Liverpool, that he was injury prone. So I think Liverpool have got it wrong, is what I'm trying to say. I think they've got it wrong with going with centre-back for 60 million quid. That's unproven, when everybody knows that the problem is at right back. Arne Slot knows the problem is at right back, and the question you have to ask yourself really is, would they be going for Xhaka if they'd got Marquez? No, I don't think so. And would they have gone for Xhaka if they signed Geertruida? I think that's how you pronounce his name, from Sunderland. I don't think so. So it just seems strange business to me. It just seems strange that teams wait till the last minute to do everything as well. I just cannot get my head around that we missed out on Marquez last transfer because they're trying to get everything done at the last minute, and he couldn't get the rifle from Sunderland because it was too close. It was too actually the words they used was it was just too complex to put all the parts together. So make of that what you will. I don't know what they actually mean by that. Was too complex. So there you go. But they've got this guy in. They didn't even know they were looking at him. I didn't even know Chelsea were looking at him. It's all over the news now that Chelsea are looking at him, and a few other players were looking at him, and players have said he's the real deal, blah, 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 blah. He's going to be the next this and he's going to be the next that. 20-year-old, we just don't know. But we're going to have to wait till next season anyway to find out. So that's the transfer news that people are coming in. Obviously, Andy Robertson hasn't gone anywhere. Curtis Jones hasn't gone anywhere. So those players will be available for the rest of the season. Good that Andy Robertson is available for the rest of the season, and good that Curtis Jones is available for the rest of the season. So Liverpool, obviously, Arne Slot said that Liverpool weren't in the business of weakening their team in this January. So that's all the news I have for that lad. We'll have to wait and see how he pans out, see how he fits into whatever partnership is going to be the centre halves for Liverpool next season. We still don't know that. We still don't know if Konate will be around. We don't know what sort of... do you know what? The Van Dijk thing is bothering me. If he sticks for another season, to be quite honest with you. Because I don't think he's playing great. Now, in saying that, he did have a really, really good game against Newcastle. But I think, in my own opinion, that those games are going to become fewer and fewer. And if Konate goes and Liverpool don't really get a proven centre-half, I think that's going to be an area where we're going to struggle next year. And I think Liverpool may be in a situation where we have a lot of young players, and Arne Slot will say these players will grow and they'll grow into being a great team in 3 or 4 years. We're only going to get better and better. But I wasn't actually expecting Liverpool to be going through what looks like a transition of rebuilding. Well, at the start of the season, that thought that Liverpool were going to be starting to rebuild a team just didn't enter my head. I thought we had that done. I thought we'd rebuilt the team by buying Ekiteke, Wirtz and Isak. But now it looks like we're top heavy. And the problem is going to be... do you know what? We're going to be like Brazil of the 70s. Score goals, but just can't keep them out. And that would be my fear for Liverpool going forward. That, yeah, we'll score goals, but we're just not going to be able to keep the ball out of the back of the net because we're going to have young players who get injured quite regular, an inconsistent sort of back four, young players at centre half, and an aging Van Dijk or a Konate who's gone. Well, that's. I hope it's not too pessimistic, but I'm failing to see the good bit of this, to be quite honest. Maybe in 2 years' time we will see the good bit. Maybe next year we say, "Oh God, what a signing! He's amazing. He's going to be the next Virgil van Dijk at his prime, and we're going to have him for the next 6 years, 7 years." But we'll have to wait and see on that. But my problem with the whole January thing and the whole can't get the right full in because it's too complex, that we then go and buy a centre half that's not going to be available till next season. It doesn't solve the problem that we have now. The problem that we have now is defence as it is now. We have a bunch of walking wounded. That's what we have as a defence. Anyway, that's enough of Jeremy Jacquet, and we'll see how he gets on. Do you know what? We'll probably be watching him a little bit on YouTube now. We're probably looking for him some Rennes games to be able to watch on TV to be able to see what we're actually getting. So we'll have to wait and see. That's what I'm going to be doing anyway. I'm going to be watching him a little bit more to see what sort of player he is without people telling me he's the next. I think somebody mentioned he's the next Saliba. So that's not so great, is it? Yeah, but 60 million, a lot for an unproven player in my opinion. But hopefully I'll be proven wrong and this guy is going to be a superstar. But we'll have to wait and see. But that's enough about Jeremy Jacquet and Liverpool's transfer. So So this is going to be your a live at 9. We'll be doing this most nights, as I said. This is just come and just chat about Liverpool and just have a little bit of a natter. This is what we're going to be doing from now on. I hope you can join us most nights. I know you're not going to join us tonight because probably nobody knows about it, but when you see a couple of them, maybe you'll get the inclination to come on and have a chat about whatever you want. I'll have topics up, but then you can just chat about whatever you want in the chat, and we can take it from there. So the next one I want to talk about is Arne Slot. Arne Slot, we talked about Arne Slot and his press conference, how they can be a bit strange sometimes, and just the one at the weekend was alright. It was just alright, you know. I don't think he did too much wrong in it. But my question is now, with all the stick that Arne Slot has been getting, I would have thought that after the weekend where Liverpool beat Newcastle in a really, really good performance, that there would have been a lot of, let me say, easing of the pressure on Arne Slot from some fans. But it just seems to be not easing off for him at all. It just seems fans are just totally disillusioned with him, totally fed up with him. And it's not improving for Arne Slot in the fan context. And there was some comments made in some publications about the only fans that are unhappy with Arne Slot is people who get online and moan about him and groan about him, and that the fans aren't unhappy. But Arne Slot was Liverpool, or I won't say Arne Slot, but Liverpool were booed off the pitch there a couple of weeks back. So it's not just online fans that are giving out about them, or foreign fans, or people that don't go to the matches every week. But anyway, my point is Arne Slot getting it right? And I think he is getting it right. And I think we have to. I would have been one that was like thinking that Arne Slot wasn't good for the job. He wasn't doing well. Just there was something going on that just wasn't working out for me. I didn't think Liverpool were playing very well. I didn't think the players were really, really into it. They just seemed to be not really into it or something. They were so fragile in certain times in games, and I just wasn't getting a good feel. And the football wasn't great. The football was kind of boring, guys. It was very boring at times, you know, so predictable. But I think over the last couple of games, I think things are starting to get right. But the question is, though, is the team just improving, or is Slot improving? Has Slot always been the same, and the players are just starting to get things right at the moment? There's a couple of reasons. I don't think he's been too much of a lucky manager, to be quite honest. I don't think he's actually had a lot of luck this season. Even though I've been critical of him at times, upon reflection, and I'm probably just thinking about it a little bit, I don't think he's been too lucky. He's bought a guy for a shitload of money, let's face it, an absolutely shitload of money. Oh, talking about guys, just a little sidetrack I heard, talking about guys on shitloads of money. I heard Ronaldo was on strike today, that he didn't turn out for his club, Ali Badi Ba, whatever he wants to call them. He didn't actually turn out for the club. He gets 500 grand a week, or a day, sorry, 500 grand a day. And he didn't turn out for them. He went on strike because he's not happy with the owners, basically. I mean, 500 grand a day, and you're telling us you're not happy with the owners? Oh, goodness sake. I'd be happy with an owner who's giving me 500 grand a day, I can tell you. Anyway, that's what Ronaldo was doing. He's on strike. I'm sure it'll be a short-term strike, and anyway, I don't think he'd be on strike for too long. So where was I? Yeah, I don't think Arne Slot is. I don't think he's been too lucky. He bought Isak for a shitload of money, and he didn't start. There was a whole. We all know the saga around that carry on, and he came to Liverpool and he wasn't match fit, and he wasn't playing very well for Sweden, and he just looked so. I mean, I watched him a couple of the early games he played, and he looked so weak and so much off the pace. It was unbelievable. And then what happens? He actually breaks his leg, and like, what must have Arne Slot have thought at that time? You know. a guy he pays a load of money for goes and breaks his leg. And then he has the trouble with the right back position. Connor Bradley hurts himself in probably the last couple of seconds of a game. Frimpong has been out injured a couple of times. Leone, he does damage to his leg and he's out. So Kanate is not playing well. Virgil van Dijk doesn't look like he's on it. The whole Salah saga. So in hindsight, there's a lot of things that didn't go too well for Arne Slot. And I don't think he's been too lucky, to be quite honest. I just don't think he's been too lucky. Verts came in, didn't hit the ground running. The only player that really hit the ground running was Ekiteke. So of all the money that was spent, all the new players coming in, Kerkez was a disaster for the first, I'm going to say 10, 12, 13 games. Terrible, terrible. Thankfully, he's looking a lot better now. But when you put all of those things together, it wasn't a great bit of luck, really, was it? It wasn't a great bit of luck for Arne Slot. So, I think he's starting to get things around. But it just coincides with players playing better. And we'll talk about that in the player ratings as well. We'll talk about some players actually just looking a little bit better. So yeah, Arne Slot, we'll have to wait and see. Liverpool obviously play Man City at the weekend. We'll see. City are not great, by the way, either. City are not great either. They're pretty poor. We'll see. Liverpool will take on City. Let me see how that goes. Still have that hangover from that bug I had just early in the new year. It's just not going away. Yeah, see how we go against Man City at the weekend. They're terrible. Watch their game. They were absolutely brutal, absolutely terrible. Anyway, we'll talk about more about Liverpool and Man City as it gets closer to the weekend. So let's tip onto the game review because I didn't get a chance to do it over the weekend. But I did touch. You would have thought some Liverpool fans would have been really happy. I thought it was a really, really good performance from Liverpool. After going 1 down, they got themselves back into the game and they came out, I suppose you could say, easy winners in the end. 4-1 win. I thought that was a really, really good result for Liverpool, particularly after going 1 down, because they haven't been doing too well after they lose an early goal, you know. Well, it wasn't an early goal, it was in the 30th minute or something like that. But I thought they did really well to come back. But I thought the game was a little bit different. I thought they moved the ball a lot quicker against Newcastle. And they just seemed to be really up for the game. I thought Kanate and Virgil van Dijk had their best game together in a good long time. A good long time as a pair. There's times I've looked at them this season and they just look to be on totally different wavelengths to one another. And it was good to see them get back. Of course, we had Szoboszlai at right full, and I talked a bit about that in the stream, that if Kanate hadn't had such a good game, it might have been different on certain occasions. I thought he covered the right full when Szoboszlai was caught out of positions a good few times. I thought Kanate did a great job in covering the right full, the same way as he used to do for Trent Alexander. I thought he was back to that sort of form, and he played really well. And I think Van Dijk had a really good game. He looked his old self-assured self. You know, that's all I can say about that. But yeah, a really good game for Liverpool. Verts played very, 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 very well. He's starting to get good, isn't he? Yep, Verts is starting to get good. What is it? I don't know how many goals in his last 10 games. Is it 6? Is it 6 goals for Verts and a handful of assists? Good few assists. Yeah, really looking better. Ekitike, another fantastic game from Ekitike. He's going to torment people. He's actually going to torment defences as he gets more comfortable. I can't wait to see him next year. I can't wait to see him, how good he's going to be in a Liverpool team that are actually doing well. I think he's going to be a great player for Liverpool. I'm really starting to love him. And the thing I liked about him, I seen the after-match interview, and he just comes across as such a nice guy. Such a nice guy. He talked all the proper things that he should be speaking about. He talked about the team doing well, and it's not about him scoring goals. It's about the team doing well, and he's happy to get an assist as much as he's happy to get a goal. But I thought that the 2 goals that he took against Newcastle were superb goals, real strikers' goals. Both of them are real strikers' goals, and both of them different in so many ways. So it's looking like he's going to be a real player. Gerrard said he looked a lot like Torres in his prime, and I thought this was a good answer. He said he didn't really see much of Torres because when he was younger they couldn't really afford to be able to buy the football channels to watch Liverpool. Now, I don't know where Ekitike grew up hoping to play for Liverpool. Probably not. Let's face it. But yeah, he just seems like a nice, humble guy. He just looks like a player that knows that he's good, but wants to get better. And I think that's a crucial point in when you have a good player, that the actual player wants to get better, and he's not just, yeah, I'm great, I'm happy with that, I'm happy with the way I am, and just doesn't work at his game. He looks like a player that's going to spend a lot of time working on his game. Yeah, so overall, a really good performance from Liverpool. So I really enjoyed the game. I really enjoyed the performance. I thought they moved the ball a lot quicker than they have done in recent times, and I think that showed an improvement in how quick they could get at teams. So yeah, really good game. So we, as I said, we didn't get to do the player ratings for the game. So I'm going to just end off with the player ratings for the game, and I'll do a man of the match, who I thought was man of the match. Yeah, I'm really sorry about the coughing. I hope that goes soon, to be quite honest, because I'm getting a bit fed up with it now at this stage. So, Alisson. I thought Alisson, what he had to do, he did really well. He made a couple of good saves. I think one of the crucial saves that he made, I think that was eventually offside, and anyway, but still in all, he still got down to a very good, and he played well. He was quick with getting the ball out to the fullbacks as well, which I enjoyed. So for Alisson, I'm going to give Alisson a solid 7 for the performance against Newcastle. I thought it was a really good game. Van Dijk, as I said, thought Van Dijk had a great game. Looked really self-assured. The best game I've seen him playing in quite a while, and I've just gone for a 7 for Van Dijk. Really good game. Konate, when you take into consideration the things that Konate has been going through for the last 2 weeks, and you know what, quite possibly longer, that we just didn't know about, which could explain some of his unnaturally poor performances, let's say. So we don't know how long that situation was going on, and we've no right to know either. It's his own personal life. But I thought he had a good game, and I thought Arne Slot spoke well when he got a phone call from Konate, and Konate wanted to come back and help the team, that he's seen that we were weak at the back. So that was good. So by far, Konate's best performance of the season, and when you consider what he's been going through, that's truly amazing. So I've gone for an 8 for Konate, because I thought he had a really good game. Dominic Szoboszlai, Mr. Consistency. I think we lost something from our midfield a little bit with Szoboszlai. in right full. I don't think it was one of his most influential performances. I don't think he had too much of an impact on the overall team the way he usually does. I thought he was caught out of position quite a lot. No fault of his. Kanate is not a rifle. Szoboszlai is not a rifle. So I've gone for a 7 for Szoboszlai because I don't think it was his best game, but I think his overall effort and having to play out of position deserves a 7. So a 7 for Szoboszlai. Kerkez, good game. Can't really remember too much that he did in the game, actually. But it was a good, solid game from Kerkez. So we've gone for a 6.5 for Kerkez. And that would be a good average score from me. So 6.5 from Kerkez for Kerkez in the game. Because I don't think he did too much wrong. But I don't really remember him doing overly anything that was overly exciting. But I think it was a solid performance, if that makes sense to you. Gravenberch, again, Gravenberch is one of I think had his best game of the season. I thought he was really good. He looked a lot like the Gravenberch of last year. I think he performed really well. I think he had a really, really good game. And he was a lot quicker than I'd seen him in recent weeks. I thought he turned a lot quicker. He moved the ball a lot quicker. So, 7 for Gravenberch. A lot of 7s in the Liverpool team tonight. So, 7 for Gravenberch. Good game from Gravenberch. McAllister, again, one of his better games. One of his better games of the season again. I don't know whether he's found some of the form that he used to have. But for me, it was certainly his best game of the season in a Liverpool shirt this year. He looked very busy, got around the pitch all over the place. So 7.5 for me for McAllister. Wirtz was excellent. Excellent. He is absolutely a beautiful footballer. An absolutely beautiful footballer. And he's really starting to find his what would you call it? I'm trying to think of a word to explain how I feel about it, but he's really starting to find. I wanted to use something more than his feet, but he's really starting to find his feet at Liverpool. So yeah, I've gone for a 7.5 for Wirtz. Another good performance, and he just seems to be getting better and better. But again, the one thing I have about Wirtz is he going to be consistent enough to be able to do it over an entire season? That's what one of my worries would be for Wirtz, to be able to do it over an entire season. But yeah, 7.5 for Wirtz. Cody Gakpo. Thought Cody Gakpo was alright. Just alright. I don't think he did too good. Didn't do too bad. It was just another average Cody Gakpo performance. And that's why I've gone with an average 6.5 for Cody Gakpo. It's not that he had a bad game. He was just Cody Gakpo. Yeah, 6.5 for Cody Gakpo. Salah. Not a great game from Salah. I think Salah has been struggling. And there was one incident in it when in the game where Salah had a breakaway, and I think 2 years ago it would have been in the back of the net. I think he's lost a fair bit of pace now, and he was caught and he had to turn back inside and eventually lost the ball. But I think 2 years ago that was a goal from Salah. I think Salah has lost a bit of pace, so 6.5 for me for Salah. I didn't think it was a great performance. It was an average performance, and he's not firing on all cylinders. Let's just say that. That's for sure. Ekitike. Thought Ekitike had a brilliant game. Not just the goals, but I thought overall his performance was really, really good. He is so busy. He's so busy in the game. Arne Slot hinted at it that he's learning to play better off the ball than than he was when he first came to Liverpool, which means he's working harder and he's doing a lot more of the things that Arne Slot wants him to do. So he had a really good game. So for Ekitike, an 8 for Ekitike. Well deserved 8. The manager, Arne Slot. As I said, a lot of stick from Arne Slot at times. A lot of media attention, a lot of scrutiny. But I think in the last couple of weeks, he's starting to get things better. But that also coincides with the players starting to play a little bit better as well. So it's twofold. The manager can't take all the blame for the poor performances, and likewise he can't take all the blame when all the plaudits when they play well. I think the two of them work hand in hand. So for Arne Slot over the last couple of weeks, I think he's done okay, and it's a 7 for me for Arne Slot. So player of the game, man of the match. Who does it go to? Who does man of the match go to? Drum roll. Well, if you were observant, you will know those two players got the same marks, and I haven't gone for man of the match. I've gone for men of the match. Yep. Why am I sitting up there? What the hell is going on? What? See, this is the live carry on. Let me drag this back down here where it should be. That looks. I was floating in the air. Yeah, there we go. That's live podcasting for you. So there you go. That just proves we're live, because I don't know what happened there. The camera went on a little walkabout. Yeah, like flying birds, just going for a little walkabout. There you go. Yeah. As I was saying, we're not going to be doing things recorded anymore, and that for one heck of a, you can bet your bottom dollar that would have been cut out, but we're not going to cut it out. We're just going to leave it there, because we're just learning as we go. Basically, we're just learning as we go. So yeah, after me floating in the air like a genie, I think I should probably get man of the match. I don't know. I've never seen anybody float in their studio before. And I was only half a person as well, so I think I deserve something for being a half a person and floating in the sky. So we'll stop my floating around. Yeah, I couldn't pick man of the match. I thought there were so many players that played really well, so many good performances, but there was two that stood out for me in the game, and I couldn't separate them. And I thought it would be mean to separate them, to be quite honest. So my man of the match for the Liverpool versus Newcastle in the 4-1 victory is men of the match. Hugo Ekitike and Ibrahim Kanate. Yeah, Ibrahim Kanate. They're my men of the match. I thought both of them had an exceptional game of football for many different reasons. Kanate, for what he's been going through, to be able to put in that performance is just amazing, and Ekitike for his constant work rate and the fact that he gets 2 great goals. Also men of the match, man of the match, men of the match, man of the match. I don't know. That's who I went for, and I knew both of them. We have joint won this match, but yeah. So there you go. That was absolutely terrible. That's why. You can see now why it takes me so long to edit stuff, because I have to cut so much bleed and stuff out. It's unbelievable. Anyway, that's us for tonight. We will be back. If you even dare to come back, we'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be talking about more Liverpool stuff. So until then, take care and look after yourselves, and let us know what you think in the comments, good or bad. I think it's going to be more bad than good, but look, we're trying. I'm really trying. So my wife says I'm very trying, to be quite honest with you, but look, I'm having a go. I can't do any more than have a go. I know some of it is just total bullshit, and some of it is really, really bad. Some of it is okay. some of it can be really bad, like floating around in your studio for no apparent reason. I don't know why it happened, because it's the same camera, it's all locked down, but something must have moved somewhere in the streaming software, and even the streaming software for me is a learning curve. But yeah, if you ever decide to come back to this channel for some reason that I don't know about, other than the fact that you can't just wait to see what disaster happens next, please do so. We'd love to see you. We'll be live every night at 9 o'clock, except when we're live streaming, live watch along of Liverpool in Liverpool games. Okay, we'll see you tomorrow night. I have to go. I'll see you tomorrow night. Look after yourselves.